You know that feeling when you're in an argument and it feels like a trap? Like no matter what you say, you just end up right back where you started, totally frustrated? Well, today we're going to dig into a really interesting story that shows exactly why some fights feel impossible to win. It all boils down to this one powerful question. In Thai, it's "Thamai ku phit thang song thang," which basically means, why am I wrong both ways? Oof, that just hits you, right? It's that awful feeling of being completely boxed in, where you're going to get blamed no matter what you do. So many of us have been there, and today we're finally going to figure out why that happens. Right, so how does that even happen? How does a simple conversation, just two people talking, turn into this impossible trap? To get to the bottom of it, we're going to dissect a very specific conflict that happens over and over again. Okay, so let's get into it. We're looking at what I'm calling the never-ending language fight. It's a real-life situation involving a multilingual couple in Switzerland. Now, their recurring argument about language, it's not really about the words. It's actually a symptom of something much, much deeper going on, and we're going to diagnose that pattern. So first, let's set the scene. Here's the situation. She's been in Switzerland for 20 years, and she's been methodically learning French. He's been there for just 6 years. He speaks some broken French, but his main language is Italian. And here's the kicker. She has zero formal background in Italian. She's literally using Google Translate to keep up. Right away, you can see this imbalance, and believe me, that imbalance is the key to this whole mess. And you can probably guess what happens next. This fight plays out the same way every single time. It's like a script. Step 1, he tries to say something in his broken French. Step 2, she doesn't understand him right away, and boom, he gets frustrated, and she immediately feels guilty. And then step 3, her brain gets stuck in this loop, asking that same question over and over. Why am I wrong again? See? It's not a fight, it's a machine. Well, that feeling of being completely trapped with no right answer, it actually has a name. Psychologists call it a double bind, and it is the perfect description for this kind of no-win situation. Just try to put yourself in her shoes for a second. The logic is just crushing. If she can't understand his broken French, well, she's wrong. She's not trying hard enough. But if she can't speak his native Italian, a language she's never learned, she's also wrong. See? It's a perfect trap. There's no way out. So what exactly is a double bind? The official definition is a communication dilemma where you get two or more conflicting messages, and one just cancels out the other. It means any response you give is the wrong one. It paralyzes you because there's literally no correct move to make. You're not just in a tough spot, you are psychologically backed into a corner. Okay, so if we know the language isn't the real problem, then what is? What's actually going on here? To figure that out, we have to look beneath the surface at all these invisible forces that are fueling this whole cycle. And when we do that, 3 hidden factors pop out. We've got a perception of a status imbalance, something called cognitive fatigue, and maybe the most important one of all, a serious imbalance in who's responsible for making the communication work. Let's break each of those down. First up, cognitive fatigue. Just think about it. She's working all day, she's trying to learn French systematically, her brain is constantly juggling languages. It's exhausting. So when her brain is a little slower to decode his broken French, it's not because she isn't trying, it's because her brain is just overloaded. But in the heat of an argument, that gets completely misinterpreted as a personal attack, as you're not even trying. And this is where the core of the problem really just snaps into focus. Look at the adjustment load each person is carrying. She's the one who has to use Google Translate, she's the one decoding broken French, and she's the one who has to absorb his frustration. Meanwhile, what's his adjustment? He doesn't really have to adjust. The pressure is almost entirely on her. That is what we mean by an unequal adjustment load. This brings us to the most important shift we have to make. We've got to stop looking at the people and start looking at the system they are both stuck inside. This is the key, the absolute key to breaking the cycle. So let's be crystal clear about what this problem is not. It's not about who's smarter, it's not about who's lazier, and it is absolutely 100% not about who is right and who is wrong. Pointing fingers and assigning blame, that's just another part of the trap. It's not the way out. The real problem, it's actually a pretty simple formula. It's an unequal adjustment load, plus the constant stress of living in a multilingual environment. That's it. When one person is carrying all the weight, all the burden of making communication happen, the system is basically designed to fail. It's a setup for constant conflict.
And the personal cost of this imbalance, it's huge. We're not just talking about a frustrating chat now and then. We're talking about total mental overload, constant self-doubt, and this almost automatic guilt response that gets hardwired into you. It's living with this fear that any little misunderstanding is going to explode, which just reinforces that horrible sinking feeling of being always wrong.
So the big question is, how do you escape the trap? Well, you start by asking better questions. And luckily, there's a really powerful tool for this called the no blame framework. And the main idea here is, it's simple, but it's also kind of radical. Stop trying to find the bad guy. The goal is not to figure out who's to blame. The goal is for both people to step back, look at the situation, see the imbalance, and then, and this is the important part, fix the system together as a team. And here are the kinds of questions that can completely reset a conflict. First, hey, is the burden of making this work shared equally between us? Next, is this anger really about what's happening now, or is it maybe covering up some insecurity? And the really big one, are we blaming a person for a problem with our system that we need to fix together? So we started with one couple's frustrating language fight, and we ended up uncovering the hidden mechanics of a double bind and these unequal loads that so many of us carry. And it all leaves us with one last, really powerful question we can ask in any conflict, not just this one. What's our real goal here? Are we just trying to find someone to blame? Or are we brave enough to admit our system is broken and actually work together to fix it?